Welcome to Off-Duty Engineer. I am Alan. This channel is for some of my scale modeling projects, plastic aircraft, wooden ships, and dioramas to display them. This is a summary of the scale model build of the Zwarte Zee Deep Sea Tugboat. Here is a short video of my final Zwarte Zee Tugboat. My nameplate label. Navigation lights. Cabin lights. Deck lighting. The motor for the propeller variable speed. The foghorn. My control box. Here are some photos of my final Zwarte Zee tugboat. The tugboat model is 900 mm long, so it projects a sense of presence. I added a simple dock as a diorama to add some interest to the scene. This Zwarte Zee kit is by Zee Boats in Denmark. It is a Dutch ocean-going deep-sea tug. It is a wooden model in 1/90 scale. This is a partly out-of-the-box build and partly scratch build. The intricate and nice details make it interesting to build and to view. Wooden builds end up having a high percentage of own styles, methods, and initiative to add to the result. Here is some history of the Zwarte Zee tugboat. The Zwarte Zee was built in 1963 at J&K Smits Scheepswerven in the Kinderdijk in Holland. It was one of a series of tugboats constructed for the Dutch Navy. Zwarte Zee was specifically designed for icebreaking duties and was equipped with powerful engines and reinforced hull to withstand icy conditions. The Zwarte Zee tugboat served in the Dutch Navy for many years, assisting in towing and icebreaking operations in the North Sea and other waters. It was known for its reliability and capabilities in challenging maritime conditions. The ship's length is 77.5 meters long, the breadth is 12.5 meters, the draft is 6.9 meters. Gross tonnage is 1,539 tons. It is driven by two Smit MAN turbo diesel engines yielding 9,000 horsepower. These machines drive a single propeller shaft through a Vulcan fluid clutch and reduction gears. In the 1980s, the Zwarte Zee was decommissioned from the Dutch Navy and sold to private owners. It was then converted to a research vessel used for maritime research expeditions in the North Sea and surrounding areas. Here are some photos as the Orinoco. According to one source, in the early 2000s, the Zwarte Zee tugboat went another transformation and was refurbished into a luxury yacht. Its interior was renovated to provide comfortable accommodation for guests while still retaining its classic tugboat exterior. But another source indicates that it is on the Rhine River, and yet another shows that it is decommissioned as of January 2024. The trace is the IMO number 5423128. I have not found the name or any pictures of it as a luxury yacht, so this remains unverified. So, the Zwarte Zee tugboat as a naval vessel, research vessel, and possibly a luxury yacht reflects its versatility and enduring appeal in the maritime world. Next is the details of the Zwarte Zee kit. This Zwarte Zee billing boat kit is the 592 revision. It has updates to the plastic hull and new laser cut wooden parts. The earlier 468 revision has a wood strip hull. Even earlier was the 422 revision as the Dutch Navy in navy fit out and colours. I could not assess the exact dates of these revision releases. I think the 592 revision was 2019 based on the date stamp in the instruction book. Other billing boat similar tugboats from the same Smit shipyard are the Smit Rotterdam, I built this one 25 years ago, the Smit Nederland and the Bankert. This 592 billing boat Zwarte Zee kit contains an ABS plastic hull, a full set of fittings which is dozens of wood, brass, plastic, rope and more, a large A1 sheet of the plan, and the instruction book, scale 1 to 90, translated to a model of 900 millimeters long. Nice. The A1 sheet is usually important and was put up on the wall for regular access for direct scale measurements. There is no skill level indicated, but modeling fanatics like me are always up to the challenge. It is not how perfectly you complete it, but the enjoyment and experience of the journey. Building instructions are in 10 languages: English, French, German, Danish, Dutch, Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese. We just follow the GB for English. The book is 48 pages long, only the cover is in color. It is very complicated to follow. I printed out single-sided pages to sort out the English, the various sections, and the many lists of material, and making copious notes. Only 2 pages show the wood parts numbered, and many pages are the lists of the materials. The color chart is also deceptively simple. This leaves a lot of scope, call it necessity, for own experience and contribution to the build. The actual instruction pages are only 19 pages of an image a page, in black and white, showing parts and numbering. You need a lot of patience for this. Let's get cracking. Next is the building of the Zwarte Zee kit. The first step was to clear my workspace. This size of build needs a lot of space. This is going to be a long build, about 5 months in 2023. First, take time to go through the instruction book, understand, identify, and sort out all the parts and assess the quality. And start a list of all the tools and materials that would be required. The list grew along the way. The tools required for wooden models is a lot different to tools for plastic models. A few different types of glues are needed. I used PVA wood glue, CA cyanoacrylate, slow and fast, araldite 2-part, and plastic glue, each for various applications. This tugboat is not going to be intended to float or to be on radio control. Instead, I wish to have full lighting, propeller turning, and displayed on a stand. I procured a Dremel kit with an array of tools for drilling, cutting, grinding, etc. and the drill press. This kit proved exceedingly useful and was used often. Many of the wooden parts needed substantial forming. Along the way, I would purchase a lot of parts and materials from the local model shop called Float a Boat that keeps old-style brass fittings like portholes, etc. I went there often. With every step, one needs to work ahead to check the next 3 or 4 steps in advance to ensure that this step will be correct. This was important and very valuable. Cutting the plastic hole to the top profile was quite hair-raising. Measure many times, cut slowly. Then prepare the internal frame. This must be exact as it will affect the deck straightness later. Continue to complete the internal frame. Check ahead for the fit of the decks. Make up and form the propeller guard and the rudder mounting. This is plastic. Fit the brass drive tube and fit this all to the hull. I then procure a suitable electric motor, not to propel the ship but only to turn the propeller at a slower speed for show. I would later build an electronic speed control circuit for the motor and the prop. So this is the start of the scratch build, concurrent with the main build. The motor needed a wooden mounting at the correct orientation and angle to position the motor in line with the drive shaft. I also procured brass fittings, including 2 brass props, one for the ship and one spare on the deck to replace the plastic ones. Test fit the deck. Add any fill-in spaces to ensure that the deck will end up flat and straight. This took a bit of time and work. Complete the propeller guard and rudder assembly with final shaping and sanding, then grey primer. Shape and fit the external stabilizers. Use CA glue for this. Then fill, grind and sand to the final shape. In the web photos earlier, at speed you can see the path that the water follows along the side of the hull. This is the lay of the stabilizers. Fit and fix the stern deck in place. All manner of clamping methods are useful. Use this as a base to form the next wooden pieces at the back. Then fix these. For wood forming, I used various methods, including hot water soak, steam, and later on an old soldering iron shaft at cool temperature. Test fit the foredeck. I changed the motor here for one with a reduction gearbox and redid the wooden base for this. Test fit with coupling, drive shaft and prop. I used a bench variable power supply to drive the motor and note what DC voltage range is required for show. Final preparation of the foredeck. I wanted the whole top section superstructure removable for access, so some planning and modifications were required for this. Fit and fix the deck sides and edging all the way around. This is the hull so far, after some fill, sand and tidy up. Next was to prep the holes for the portholes. I made a template of the 1:1 scale drawing. I procured 2 different sizes of brass portholes from the local shop to replace the plastic ones. Next, Mask the top off. Then prepare the hull with fine grit paper, any filling and touch-ups to a smooth surface. Then prime the hull grey. Then gloss black, 3 coats, and let it dry properly. Mask for the red part of the lower hull. I used mica red because I like the deep, vivid red colour. Then mask for the blue. Again, I used mica blue for the vivid colour and to match the red lustre. Then mask and do the yellow bow, and this is the result. I then fitted the 50 brass portholes and the 2 brass anchors and fitted the propeller, all in brass. The drive shaft is greased and installed with motor and coupling. Looks pretty damn good so far. The deck is that unusual green colour. I used Tamiya light green acrylic gloss X15. I used quite a few bottles of this. Big deck and 3 coats, all hand brushed. The result looked good against the primary colours of the hull. Next, complete the foredeck bollards and the wave disperser. Complete the aft deck green and the wood strip flooring of very thin hardwood. Then complete the main winch cable exit rollers. Next, I decided to add a foghorn to the kit. This would comprise an audio module, a speaker, and a power supply of 9 volts DC. I decided to build a horn for the speaker to amplify the sound effect. I made a cardboard template of the biggest horn box that would fit into the hull through the opening I had created. I then built the final box from balsa, fitted the speaker in the module, and made provision for the wiring. The aft deck removable section is completed, painted green and hardwood strips, with the main engine covers in brown. This section can be lifted out to access the rudder and the motor. The foghorn box can be seen installed in the front. I decided now to build a control unit for the ship. It would be a box with a power supply and circuitry and switches to control the nav lights, the cabin lights, the deck lights, the foghorn, and the variable speed for the motor and the prop. Here is the preparation of the control unit. I added an 8-way connector to be able to plug the control unit into the ship and bring the cabling in. And here are the 2 grandsons and a friend doing an inspection and quality assessment. I decided to display the ship on a simple backdrop diorama of a dock wall. This would add a bit of realism to the display without dominating the scene. I found images of a sandstone wall and concrete. I then expanded this by copy, invert and paste method, then printed a few sheets onto A3 with a laser printer. The base and backing was cut from structural foam. The printout was glued onto the dock wall with art glue. The base was later painted grey. I used a long bolt from the ship through the keel, through the base to fix it all together. The ship was close to the dock so that I could add bollards and ropes to add to the visuals. Now to start the big step, the superstructure. Careful planning required. Always checking a few steps ahead to ensure continuity and avoid later errors. I had to make the whole superstructure removable to access inside for the electrics. The walls for both levels are done. Time to check ahead for deck fitting. Note that the stack is in place. Prepare the upper deck and test fit all together. Then all insides can be painted white. I used Tamiya acrylic white gloss, hand painted a few coats. I wanted white inside for the cabin LED lights to show the inside better. The decks together with the stack painted and the front mast assembled. Midship mast is assembled, fitted, and both masts are painted. I used Tamiya spray camel yellow to be the same color as the piece on the bow. Note that the main parts are still not glued together yet. I still need access for the lighting and wiring. This is the progress so far, showing disassembly of each section back to the main deck. More hardwood strip decking and gloss varnish, and the last of the green deck flooring. Another progress look. The different decks are separate and will remain so. The cabin LEDs are fitted to each deck and wired. The deck lighting LEDs are fitted to the masts with hidden resistors, then wiring down the center of the masts. This took a bit of time. Here is the superstructure, complete with all fittings. The radar and radio antennas, the water cannons, the outside compass, navigation quarter lights, and some brass hand railing. the brass hand railing is extremely time consuming. Time to test all the wiring and lighting. QA point succeeded. I sourced different lifeboats and support motorboat. I painted the motorboat in the same colours as the ship, gloss black and that mica red and white. Looks stunning. Then complete the lifeboat derricks and roping the lifeboats to the derricks. The main front anchor winch was very intricate with many brass parts. The wooden parts in the kit were wrong, so I had to fabricate a new set based on the skimpy drawings and lots of test measurements. It took 2 passes to get that right. These are the black parts. The brass hand railing took a lot more time. The spare brass propeller on the foredeck. And then it's complete. Here are photos of the completed ship. This was a very satisfying build. It took about 5 months. The billing boat kits are very good. This is a good quality kit. I have built one in the past, the sister ship to the Zwarte Zee, namely the Smit Rotterdam. But this was some 25 years ago. It had a wood strip hull then. I will build another in the future. I would definitely recommend any of their kits. That is all. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please follow, like, subscribe, etc. See you next time. Thank you.